Hey everyone, Dustin here. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of 3D Garage. So I wanted to start by giving you an update on the bumper and what we got done to it. So I was able to get most of the face of the bumper stripped to bare plastic. We still have to work on sanding in the grill area and the fog light recesses, but the outside of the bumper for the most part is pretty much ready to start sanding with finer grits and prep for primer. You can see here though is where our reflector recess, or the area that was filled, is. In a previous episode I mentioned that I had filled that with the bumper repair material. I was actually mistaken. When I started sanding at it, it was just body filler that I used. I know I did use the bumper repair material to bond this plastic piece into place. Okay, and we're back. You probably noticed I didn't go anywhere because you're watching this on film and that's a continuous thing, but the memory card on my camera became full and I had to delete some files from it. It's actually kind of a small accomplishment here. I didn't think I'd fill one up anytime soon, and I just did. So, okay, where was I? So I mentioned that this recess was filled with body filler as opposed to the plastic bumper repair material. I'm gonna rectify that and fill it with the plastic bumper repair material, but in order to do that, I need to remove all this body filler. I basically sanded it with the DA to expose you can see the ring where the recess is, where the fog light went. We're gonna use a roll-lock disc to grind away the body filler and then the DA to sand that out. I'll take you along, shoot some footage with the GoPro here so you can see how that process works. It actually makes sense too as to why the bumper was cracking in that area. That bumper repair material really isn't prone to cracking, whereas body filler is. So yeah, let's get that done. Also, another thing I wanted to show you, you may have noticed in the last video, my stand was kind of moving all over the place when I was sanding the bumper. So basically what I did was I used two of these wheels and tires to secure the stand and then zip tied the bumper to the stand. This is just one of these Harbor Freight work stands. They're actually like pretty lightweight and flimsy and not that great. If you just need something to set apart on, they work, but I am gonna get something a little bit more heavy duty when it comes to working on heavier panels like this, larger and heavier panels like this here deck lid. All right. As I was grinding away the surface of the bumper, what I was trying to do is like create a tapered edge so that the bumper filler, the plastic bumper repair material, isn't just filling the recess. It actually has a void that's even larger than that. So it kind of creates like a cap over the surface. The roll-lock disc did kind of melt the bumper, you know, due to the heat that was generated by the grinding action of it. So we're gonna take care of that now by just sanding this with the DA. Okay, so I was able to get both sides of these fog light recesses cleaned up pretty good. Got the body filler ground out of them. Right now I'm just going over and wiping them down with some acetone to remove any grease or oils, you know, from my hands and whatnot that may have gotten on that surface. I am using a paper towel and it is leaving a little bit of debris behind, so after I'm done wiping these down, I'm gonna take the air blower and blow any of that paper residue off. I can do that right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is prepare these to have the bumper filler, as you would call it, applied. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking and just spraying a plastic adhesion promoter on the surface of the raw plastic. I'm gonna do about 3 coats, and I'm gonna go out wider than I think I need to. That way, we're not putting the plastic repair material on an area that hasn't been treated with the plastic adhesion promoter. I'm going to use a pretty good amount of this plastic adhesion promoter because a raw plastic like this that's been sanded with 60 grit is just, it's soaking this stuff up. This plastic adhesion promoter is going to chemically bite into the plastic and allow the two components to basically bond to each other. Okay, so the product we're going to be using on these bumpers to fill them is going to be this 3M 5887 Easy Sand multi-purpose repair material. And then I just had this come in the mail today. We're going to be using basically this 3M gun. It's basically like a 2-part caulking gun. The part number on that is going to be 8571. All right, let's get this going. So included with the Easy Sand multi-purpose repair material, they give you 2 of these auto mix tips, which basically, as you squeeze, it mixes the 2 components, part A and part B, together so that you get a thoroughly mixed product that you can apply through this tip. This isn't necessary. You can just squeeze this stuff out onto a mixing board and mix it manually, but when you are doing a large repair area, these come in handy. Gravity does seem to be kind of working against us here, so I might end up repositioning the bumper. So repair material's gotten to the point where it's warm to the touch, it's kicked. And what I'm doing is I have this motor guard sanding pad. It's like for Velcro paper. I cut the corners off of it to accept the DA disc, and I'm gonna use our Hercules 60 grit paper, attach that to here, and start sanding away. So as I'm sanding, you can actually see this low area right here. That's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have to make sure that this gets filled in its entirety. As I sand, this area that I'm sanding now is gonna get lower, but still this is gonna need some more material. So I went and sanded that low area. That way this material will adhere to it. And now I'm just gonna make another pass trying to fill in this low area. And then once that kicks, we'll sand it again. We're just gonna keep building this thing up until it's flush. Start by filling the air bubble that I have. All right, so that's it for our material. We just polished off that tube and we're gonna let this stuff kick now. Okay, so our material has started to kick. You can just do a little test and see if it sands without clogging the paper. It does. So now we're gonna go at it again, sand it down. Hopefully we made a little bit of progress this time. If your paper ever starts to clog like this on you, you can just take an air blower and blow it clean. Back to sanding. So after round 2, I'm pretty happy with the results on the right hand side. It came out pretty good. What I'm probably going to do though is come back and using a metal spreader, put a really tight thin coat of that filler material on there and sand it with work it with a finer grit. Maybe start with 80, go to 120 and then 180 to finish it out. Right now I'm just roughing everything out with 60, but it feels good, it feels straight. Could use a little tuning up, but it's good. Coming over to the left-hand side, you can see it's about one step behind the right-hand side, but at this point I am out of bumper repair material, and at $47 a tube, you can see where the costs add up with these things. Materials aren't cheap, they're very expensive, paint is very expensive, the adhesion promoter is expensive, all the little, the primer is expensive. You see where I'm going. So yeah, if you want me to do like an itemized breakdown with the costs and materials associated with painting your own car, I could do that for you guys. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the results, and we'll get some more repair material, get this thing finished out, and then we'll start working this bumper with some finer grits of sandpaper and get it ready for primer. All right.